Hi Cancer, welcome to your April 2023 Life Sector Tarot reading with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Cancer, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. So I'm splitting the monthlies into two. The videos as the Astro Tarot are already very long and a lot of you are switching off after 10 minutes. I know I talk a lot, I know I give a lot of info and hopefully a lot of value as well, but obviously no offense, but a lot of people seem to have a very short attention span. I'm going to be making an upsetting video about that pretty soon, so I apologize in advance. In fact, no I don't. It's going to be what it's going to be, right? But this is for your life sectors. These are purely tarot, so watch them for whichever sign speaks to you. Remember, they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. And I say us because, as many of you know, I am a Cancer moon. I have the moon, or Luna, my celestial love, in Cancer, you know, in her own sign, so I'll take it. Alright, so let's have a look. We're going to start with your actions and plans, and we're going to see what's going on there for the month of April. So I'm going to pop these here. Come on, camera, do your thing. Get focused. There we go. Alright, so first out we have... Alright, we've got the Hermit card, right? So in this deck it's actually called the Holly King. So we've got the Hermit, you've got the Death card. Okay, so there's a few ways that this is going to work out, all right? And then we've got the King of Wands. King of Wands tends to be a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, I know you're probably thinking, hang on, does that mean what I think it means? There is a potential for that, but I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Because this is about your actions and plans. This is about what you do, what you initiate, what you're putting out into the world over the course of this month. So you got the Hermit card with the Death card. So something that you've been working on, potentially behind the scenes, something you've been working really hard with, or maybe you haven't had as much progress as you'd like. And the reason you probably haven't had the progress is because whatever you've been working on, you've been trying to do this alone. It's not the correct path for you. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating requires more visibility. And so if you really want it to succeed or to go as far as it possibly can, you are going to need to not necessarily outsource, but definitely collaborate, because your visibility alone doesn't appear to be enough. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with you or that you are not enough. It's just to say that this is about really trying to work smart instead of hard, which is a lifelong lesson for myself. I've had so many people say that to me. You love to do things the hard way, don't you? And I'm like, I don't really. I just end up doing it that way. I'm sorry. Now, on another note, and I do have to talk about this, if you've been with me long enough, you know I do not shy away from the difficult topics or subjects, right? As far as I'm concerned, tarot is, it's the book of life, it's been called, right? It will speak to every single experience that a soul can have while it incarnates as a human being. Unfortunately, we are born, we live, and we will pass out of this earthly realm as well. I don't say these things to upset people. I don't say them to, be controversial or to get views or whatever. But the Death card can't mean everything else but fucking death. Sometimes it will literally speak to that, right? And I'm sick and tired of having to explain myself for talking about the hard stuff. If you can't handle the difficult things in life, life is going to be very tough for you in general. Now, a lot of people say like, oh, I come here to feel good. Okay, that's great. When the messages are good, I will give them to you. When the messages are not so good, I will give them to you. That is the work. That is the work that we do as tarot readers, astrologers, numerologists, psychics, seers, mystics, mediums, whatever. I'm really done with this trying to justify talking about the hard stuff. I'm very sorry to say this triplet can speak to. Doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but it can speak to an older man who happens to be a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, may very well pass in the month of April. It's not a guarantee. It's not going to be that suddenly every fire sign male keels over. Come on, right? But if there is somebody that's older who is in the winter of their lives, the Holly King, yeah, literally represents the Winter King. So if you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say somebody that's in the winter of their lives. When we get old, when we get to that point where we're nearing our final days, that's when you're in the winter of your life, right? We have our spring, we have our summer, we have our autumn or our fall if you're in the States, and we have our winter. And then we pass out of this realm to be reborn. You can look at the 4 seasons. If that helps you understand the cycle of life and death a bit more, and it takes the scary out of it, then think of it in that way, all right? But if you're one of these people that can't handle the messages when they come, if you need to constantly hear every single week that your soulmate is coming, that you're making so much money and life is going to be all good, if you need to hear that every single week and every single month, please find another channel, because it ain't me, all right? Period. Okay, on a brighter note, soapbox moment over. When it comes to your career and communications, you've got the 2 of Wands. Okay, nice, really nice. You've got the Queen of Wands. Interesting. And you've got the 10 of Swords, right? So this is actually really nice. We'll speak to all of you in different ways. So for those of you that are students and studying, this could be where money, finances, a bursary, a loan, or a fund was previously closed to you. Maybe there was a barrier to your learning or to the finances that you needed in order to get into school, college, university, maybe a part-time course, whatever the case might be. That looks like it's coming to an end. So where you've had a restriction on what has been available to you, you're about to see that lifted and you'll be able to move forward with it. For those of you that are, I apologize, this is going to be quite a long video now. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, that triplet is actually really nice. I will say it does suggest that you may need to draw a boundary when it comes to finances. So if your boss has promised you a pay rise and comes to you this month and says, oh, it's not going to happen now, you need to push back. This is the month where you kind of say, no, I've waited long enough. You said you were going to give me this. It still hasn't materialized. We need to start having more of a serious conversation about this. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, potentially here, you are looking at, so it could be if you've got employees, this could be where an employee leaves this month. And it may be because you can't pay them more. Maybe you just don't have it in the bank, or maybe you're not earning enough at the moment in order to pay this person more. I don't see it ending on bad terms, even though it is the 10 of Swords. I don't see it ending on like a rough note. It's just kind of like you're not paying me enough, and I understand that you can't at the moment, but I need to go elsewhere for that reason. So it's like you're not going to wreck the friendship, because sometimes the 10 of Swords can be a bust up. I don't see that here though. When it comes to your for those of you that are retired and no longer working, this could, if a person is passing this month, right, and that's an interruption. So you see there, I was talking about something completely different, your actions and your plans, right? But tarot had another message that it wanted to get across. Tarot is a force, an energy, a being all its own, right? And I try to get this across to people. Some people it's just like, oh yeah, it's just reading pretty cards. There's so much more to it than that. And I'll be unpacking this slowly but surely as we move forward. I'm going to upset a few people with some of the things that I'm about to say. So, this is going to be it, right? We'll see where it goes. If you are retired, maybe this is the news that reaches you, and potentially maybe you have to take a journey in order to say goodbye. I hope that's not the case, but it's a possibility. So for your love and relations, you've got the 2 of Pentacles. So that's really interesting, right? So you've got the 2 of Pentacles that falls on top of the 2 of Wands. Right, so sorry, you'll have to forgive me, the light is bad, and because these cards are shiny, if I have the curtains wide open, You literally can't see anything. So it's got to find the right balance. That Two of Pentacles on top of the Two of Wands. Two twos is a bond, a pact, or an accord. You got this with the Page of Swords. Okay, and this with the Page of Wands. So you got two twos, bond, pact, accord. You've also got two pages, which represents disquiet. So this could be maybe a contract or a decision that you've made or a direction that you're choosing to go in. Potentially, it doesn't cause an issue with the partner, but it might be that it causes a lot of needed conversations. Like you and a significant other, if you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, you guys might have to have some really long, potentially serious conversations about the implications of what you're trying to do. Let's say you've got young children and you say, actually, you know what, I want to go back to work, and your partner's in full-time work. Then, you know, it's like, okay, how do we make a path forward? So again, it doesn't have to be something awful, but it is going to be something that potentially causes a need to really, okay, we've got to look at this from a serious perspective, and potentially a financial ramifications one as well. For those of you that are single and looking and ready to mingle, I love this. There is a tension in the air, a sexual tension in the air. There is a lot of banter, a lot of laughter. I have to say, this looks like it has the potential to be something long term, but it really is going to take some navigating. So it may very well be that there's a commute between the two of you, because wherever it is that you're meeting, it's not somewhere that you are both from. So it's either that you're both passing through a place, or you're both happen to be in a place that is neither one of your hometowns, if that makes sense. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the Page of, okay, Pentacles with the Sun card. Get your money, honey, and the Ten of Pentacles. This is a great month for your finances, Cancer. Your money is doing wonderful and excellent things. Now, in terms of money, this is you making more money from your personal skills, potentially something that you can do from home. So it's not necessarily that the boss or the work is bringing more money, but some personal pet project, something that you're embarking on a personal level, is potentially where the money is this month. There is good money, good resources coming into the home this month as well, which I really like for you. And because you've got those three pages can it can sometimes represent like a bigger talk, or a bigger, not necessarily a dispute. Well, yeah, actually a dispute. So it could be over finances, that there's like a hard or a heavy conversation that happens this month, I'm sorry to say. Outside of that though, the money that you need is absolutely available to you. And if you're open to it, whatever you are starting or embarking on this month, it will steadily and continuously build right the way through until August or September. So I really like whatever you're setting into motion. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is great news around health. This is, especially if you've been working with a doctor, a therapist, a physical therapist, a specific type of doctor. This is the answers that you've been looking for. They finally get to the bottom of whatever has been ailing you or troubling you. If you're already in pretty good health, this is a month to really maximize your diet, your workout, etc., to really go for it, because the results are phenomenal. And then finally, when it comes to the home and environment, this is just really great news. For those of you that are looking to conceive, there are babies and children here. I love this. For those of you that are looking to create some kind of legacy for your family, this is the month where it starts. All round, a pretty decent month, apart from, a little bit of a shaky start. With that said, again, I never set out to upset anybody. That's not what I want to do here. I'm a moon sign in Cancer. I don't want to give predictions about heavy stuff or death for anybody, but this is the job that I've been tasked with. And one day I'll tell the story of my first ever professional tarot reading, and I think it will give everybody a deeper insight into why I don't shy away from the hard stuff. Outside of that, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments, do you love it? Do you loathe it? Take care, and I'll see you soon.